This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Today, Monday, July 26th, we're supposed to see big action taken on the bipartisan infrastructure as well as the human infrastructure packages, which has all those stimulus provisions in it. I'll play you a video clip from a Republican senator saying that it is almost done, and today, Monday afternoon, we're supposed to see that bill. And also remember, Nancy Pelosi said she is not going to vote on the bipartisan bill unless we have the human reconciliation bill as well, which puts Democrats and Republicans in a tough position in the Senate because that means major action needs to be taken today. I'm going to share with you the timeline. I'm going to share with you a few video clips. Then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Hope you're having a great day. If you appreciate all the hours of research that I put into these videos and condense it into a no-fluff version, hit the like button down below. First, it looks like that de Blasio is going to expand COVID vaccine or test mandate to all city workers, meaning that in New York City, either you have to show that you had a vaccine or you get tested in order to go back to work. So in terms of the lines of vaccine passports, we're starting to see some things grow a little more there. Also, San Francisco, some San Francisco bars are requiring COVID-19 vaccine proof. So before you could get into the bar, you have to show that you've been vaccinated, sort of like a vaccine passport. This is not just happening in San Francisco and not just bars, but restaurants, events, and activities as well. Also, around the world, we're starting to see demonstrators protest against vaccine passports in France, Italy, and Australia, as well as London. Big protest among the streets. And then in Japan starts accepting applications for COVID vaccine passports as of today, July 26th. So a lot of different things are happening around the world. We're seeing protests against vaccine passports. We're seeing a lot of governments supporting vaccine passports. Because of the Delta variant, it seems that things are changing a lot, and we're kind of going backwards in terms of where we were just even a few months ago. Next, let's talk about bipartisan infrastructure. So, bipartisan infrastructure deal enters critical week in Congress with major sticking points unresolved. So, as of late, the latest sticking point has been transit. At least that's what they say. You would think that they would have figured this out after months and months of talk, weeks of negotiation, months of deadlines saying that they're going to have a deadline and it's not even going through. I'm not even sure what Congress is doing with all their time anyway. If we look at the calendar right here, congressional calendar, so July, today's the 26th, we only have a few more days before a big vote could happen. The 30th is the actual last deadline, not just a preset deadline, but literally the last day that it could be voted on through the House. And Nancy Pelosi said that nothing will be voted on unless there is a reconciliation bill as well. So with the bipartisan infrastructure bill saying that is 90% done but still hung up on mass transit funding, according to a senator. I'm going to play you this video clip right now. This is Senator.
Let's get a Republican response now from Senator Rob Portman of Ohio. Senator Portman, thanks for joining us this morning. Let's start out with that infrastructure deal. You just heard Speaker Pelosi say she's not going to have a vote until reconciliation is also passed by the Senate. First off, though, do you expect to reach a deal this week?
Well, George, let me say that what she has just said is entirely counter to what President Biden has committed to and what the Senate is doing, which is a two-track process. The infrastructure bill has nothing to do with the reckless tax and spend extravaganza that she's talking about in terms of what reconciliation, as she called it. So no, I'm not happy with what she said because it's inconsistent with the agreement that we have on a bipartisan basis.
Does that mean we'll end up with nothing?
Go on their own. Well, if she has her way, we could. I'm not sure what the future is of reconciliation. I know that the bipartisan infrastructure package is very popular among the American people and in the United States Congress because it makes sense. We need it badly. 43% of our roads are in bad or mediocre condition, according to the engineers. 46,000 bridges are structurally deficient. We have ships lining up at ports because our ports aren't efficient enough. 87% of the American people think we should do a bipartisan infrastructure package. It's the right thing to do. Every president in modern times has talked about it. President Trump's proposal was for $1.5 trillion in infrastructure. Ours is about $579 billion over 5 years. So this is the right thing to do. It's been totally bipartisan from the start. It's the way we ought to be doing things here in Washington to get stuff done. And I can't believe the Speaker of the House would be blocking it.
Do you have a deal?
We're about 90% of the way there. I'm here this weekend working on legislative language with colleagues and with staff, and I feel good about getting that done this week. We have one issue outstanding, and we're not getting much response from the Democrats on it. It's about mass transit. Our transit number is very generous. We increased transit in this proposal. We also increased the formula going forward. That's the one issue that's outstanding, frankly, at this point. My hope is that we'll see progress on that yet today.
Wall Street Journal weighed in against the deal yesterday on their editorial page. I wanted to put it up on the screen right now. It says, taking the buy out of bipartisan. And they write, what's striking about the deal so far, however, is that by all appearances, this will be the most one-sided bipartisan deal in decades. They point out that the Republicans are not getting the kind of regulatory reforms you've called for. Also, you're not doing anything to stop that reconciliation package we were just talking about the Democrats hope to pass.
Well, you know, I normally respect the Wall Street Journal's editorial page. In fact, I read it every day, but they're totally wrong on this. And it shocks me that the Wall Street Journal, which has normally good journalistic ethics, would say in that editorial, we don't know what's in it, but this is what we think.
So we keep hearing Rob Portman, another Republican senator, saying that this is the week. It is the week. It has to be the week. But we were also told that today is the day, Monday afternoon, is when we're going to see the bill text and everything else that was promised along the way. Also, Senate Republican not happy with Pelosi plan to delay infrastructure vote. So Rob Portman also saying that Nancy Pelosi probably has too much power in this situation, saying that there's not going to be a bipartisan infrastructure vote unless there is a human infrastructure vote. Well, you know, she set the terms a while back, so you know, I guess whether it's right or not, she has all the cards, all the power. She already said her intentions, what she plans on doing. I just think it's also a way for them to actually get something done. Maybe it was Nancy Pelosi's way to say, hey, maybe you guys should just stop talking and actually get something done, and then we could go and then everyone could go on their vacation. I don't know. We're going to see what happens with that. With a fourth stimulus check, is another payment included in the reconciliation bill. So we've been hearing a lot about a fourth stimulus check over the last few months. Is it going to happen? The third $1,400 stimulus check came and went too fast. It was just too little, too late. And I feel like a lot of people are like, hey, you know, that barely covered anything. We need a little more aid here. So in terms of a fourth stimulus check, if there was going to be one, it would be in the reconciliation bill. We're still waiting to hear the details on that. I don't think it's going to be a recurring payment, in my opinion. I think that would help out a lot of people, but based on the cost of it and the size of the reconciliation bill, it doesn't seem like there could be a recurring payment because they wouldn't say how many months that's for the $2,000 per month. Could there be a one-time check? Possibly, especially with the Delta variant back on the rise. Looks like the economy is crumbling, stock market dropping, more potential lockdowns happening, quarantine, more mask mandates. We're not at that point yet where the whole economy and country is going to shut down, but I could see things brewing. We're basically at the tipping point of whether we're going to have a huge uncontrollable surge and therefore people would need more aid. If it goes the other way, maybe there'll be less aid giving to a more targeted amount of people. In terms of public support, that change.org $2,000 per month to every American petition. It's currently at 2,701,000 signatures so far. Speaking of reconciliation, Bernie Sanders touts reconciliation bill with universal pre-K and guaranteed sick leave. Here is Democrat Senator Mark Warner talking more about the need for the reconciliation bill.
Well, Senator, obviously there's a lot of concern about the inflation that we see rising in the country, and Senator Graham spoke to this just the other day. Let's watch that.
There's a mandate in this bill to require every employer to offer paid family leave. That sounds good, I guess, on its face until the employer has to come up with the cash to meet the mandate in this bill. Guess what the employer is going to do? They're going to increase their prices because the government has increased their cost. And over time, as we increase taxes in this bill, which they will have to do, there's less money to do things that businesses need to do, like to modernize and hire people. So this is a nightmare for American business. It's going to be a nightmare for American consumers if this reconciliation bill passes.
So he's talking about driving up the costs for American businesses across this country and what the impact might be on consumers. Do you share those concerns about this enormous $3.5 trillion bill?
Well, Martha, unlike a whole lot of the folks I work with in the Senate, I actually spent close to 30 years in business. I was involved in the telecommunications industry, started a very large company. I can actually read a balance sheet, which is something that some of my colleagues can't. The amazing thing that Lindsay just mentioned is there is every industrial country in the world, with the exception of the United States, provides some level of paid leave if somebody's having a baby or has got a death in the family. Other countries have managed to do that, and their economies are still moving forward. Matter of fact, if there are inflationary pressures, it is because we put $5 trillion into the economy, $3.5 trillion of that under President Trump, to respond to the COVID crisis. I think history will actually treat those investments as appropriate, because we are seeing our economy rebound. We've added 3 million jobs in the last 5 months. And Martha, I just got to tell you, as somebody who spent longer in business than I have in politics, if we don't invest in road, rail, water and sewer systems, broadband, those infrastructure investments will actually help us grow the economy. Virtually every economist from left to right agrees on that.
So we're still waiting to see all the details of both bills. What's going to happen? I don't know, but in terms of the federal eviction moratorium, it is set to expire July 31st as Delta variant rips through US. So looks like things are getting more serious, but in terms of the eviction moratorium, it's set to expire in just a few days, 5 days. And based on that, Chuck Schumer just demanded that New York release billions in rental assistance. So New York probably has one of the biggest rental assistance programs in terms of money, but that money is not going out fast enough. It's not going out to people. The eviction moratorium had many extensions, but they said they will not extend it this time. So it looks like it's actually going to happen. And in Cincinnati, organizations continue to offer pandemic rent assistance as federal moratorium on eviction ends. So many cities and states are rushing to try to get this rental assistance money out before the eviction moratorium happens. Otherwise, if it doesn't go out by the 31st, it's too late. And then I think there's around 11 million families that are potentially going to be evicted. The courts are going to be flooded with evictions, court hearings and stuff. It's going to be crazy. It's like a slow train wreck about to happen. So in terms of rental assistance, there is still rental assistance available. If you did apply, probably got on the wait list. If you haven't yet applied, it's still worth it. Even if you're not going to be evicted on the 31st, might as well get this because the money is there. It hasn't been used yet. Out of the $45 billion, I think only around $3 to $4 billion has been sent out because of how bad the states and computer systems are and how slow they are. Maybe not enough labor or not enough people working to get the money out. But I still recommend getting the money because it's not like they're gonna take the money back. The money is there, meant for rental assistance. So this could definitely still help. Next, I'm gonna answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. WebZLove1122 says, hi there, are there any updates on Americans like my wife and I that are still waiting for their tax returns? It's beyond frustrating, thanks. Yeah, so I look every day. Before I do these videos, I check all the different topics, latest news. Nothing on tax returns yet, nothing on regular tax returns, nothing on the unemployment tax returns as of now, which I can understand is completely frustrating, especially since you did your part. Now it's up to the IRS to send the money to you, but when it's the other way around, the IRS will throw people in jail if they don't get their money. Next, Don Crook says, so they're taking money that is already allocated to people and putting it into roads and bridges? No, that's not the case. So there's two separate tracks, two separate infrastructure packages. One is for roads and bridges and broadband and water and all that, physical infrastructure, which will create jobs. The other one is human infrastructure, which is free pre-K, free college, a lot of things like that. That is for humans infrastructure. It has nothing to do with infrastructure. They just call it human infrastructure, but it's just basically a bunch of stimulus provisions, a bunch of extensions of programs and things like that. Next question, Doris Lewis. What about people who don't even get $1,000 a month? So in the video I did a couple days ago, or maybe even yesterday, I talked about how there's how the Social Security may increase by an additional 5.8%, which just for numbers purposes, I said if you get, for every $1,000 you get an additional $58. So if you get $1,000 in Social Security a month, you would get $1,058. So Not that if you make less than $1,000, let's say you only get $500, then that would be $28. $29 additional per month. I'm really bad at on-the-spot math, but you would get 5.8% increase. That's basically all that means. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To hopefully cheer you up a bit, here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, I'm going to give you the 5 positive tips to make you start your day and make you be positive and grateful as much as you can. So first, stay happy, stay strong, and have good vibes, and do great to others when they do great to you. And also, you know this one, be nice to others when you be nice to them. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. So both my girls are in camp today. They're loving camp. I think this might be one of the last week or two of camp. They get to do all types of fun stuff, play with their friends, do water fights, water balloon, water slide type of stuff. Yeah, anyways, I hope you have an amazing day. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click this link up here or this one down over here. Ouch. Hit my elbow. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching. That wasn't funny.